We're going to talk a little bit more about heat and the home and how we move heat in the home. Most of our systems for heating homes use convection. We move air around in one way or another. Even if you're using a furnace, which has a good bit of radiative heat, you can always tell this by putting a pillow between you and it and feeling the drop in the heat. Even on a cloudy day, you can feel the radiative heat coming from the sun. There are all kinds of ways to detect radiative heat. But primary method of spreading heat around a room tends to be convection, mostly because it's easy to move air around. And depending on what kind of heating system you have or cooling system you have, they do that in different ways. My house has a Linux system and it moves a high volume of air, but without a very big temperature differential. So it moves a lot of air, and if I'm trying to heat up the space, it will move air and heat the air about 10 degrees and push it back out into space and keep mixing it so that you don't have really hot air coming out of the vents. That you're always kind of making your way gradually up to where you want to go. Or if you're cooling it, you're doing the same thing. You're bringing the air through, you're cooling it down about 10 degrees and blowing it back out into the room. We are reaching that time of year my cats love, because one of their favorite things to do is sit on top of the warm air vents and feel that hot air coming up out of the vent. So in our homes, the movement of air is the major way we do this. Now, in this picture, you'll see some things that are key. Hot air rises. So the hot air rises, the hot air keeps going up. It pushes other hot air over. As this air cools, it begins to fall. And once it falls, it gets pushed back towards the furnace, right? And then it heats up and goes up. You also can see this when you're in the shower. When you're in the shower and you turn on the shower and you're suddenly heating up with hot water the space in the shower, the shower curtain will actually flow towards you in the shower. The reason it does that is the hot air that you're creating with all the hot water going down through the air in the shower is rising, and now it's sucking cold air down in by your feet underneath the shower curtain. So the cold air comes in under the shower curtain, hot air goes up and over the shower curtain. It is that natural movement of hot air that rises. It rises because it's actually less dense than the cold air. And this is the basics of how we move hot air around in a house. The other issue you'll often see in a home, you'll have a ceiling fan. And the point behind the ceiling fan is to pull hotter air off the ceiling and mix it with the air in the rest of the room and even out the temperature in the room so that you don't have these distinct thermal layers in the house. All right, that's just a little bit more about fluid movement in the house and different places. There'll be another video on radiation and the movement of molecules.